Hi there guys, what's going on? This is Arthur, and today I wanted to talk about what is specializing in bodybuilding and what is specializing as a whole in the lifting world. This is basically going to be a debate between quality and quantity in bodybuilding, so you should really watch this video because I think you will make absolutely great improvement if you actually can stick to this advice. So what does specializing means as a whole in the lifting world? Because we're going to talk about bodybuilding and specializing in bodybuilding, but I want to talk in the lifting world, in general. And so when you get into lifting weights, you'll have different options, right? You could either go for bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit, and in a way this is specializing because, as you see, a powerlifter trains differently than a bodybuilder, and they have different bodies in the end because they're not training for the same things, and this is specializing. People will decide to say, I'm going to do powerlifting, I'm specializing in the world of lifting weights into powerlifting, and some others will say, I want to get bigger, get big muscles, so I will specialize into bodybuilding. So this is what I mean by specializing, choosing something where you want to excel at. So what does specializing in bodybuilding now means? So this means to choose the best exercises for yourself to improve the most. And so by this I mean that you have to focus on the quality, but you have to do enough of this quality work. So basically what I'm saying is that once you choose the best exercises for yourself, you're basically going to focus on these things, and then you're going to apply the quantity and do enough of these things that work well for you rather than try to do too many things. So I'm going to explain you basically what I mean now by illustrating this with a beginner routine, because this is what we see in a lot of beginners. So for example, first routine is bench press, incline bench press, decline bench press, flies with dumbbells, cable flies, chest press on the machine. And so we often see this type of sessions among beginners because you want to do too much at the start, and it's not even that you want to do too much, but you kind of like want to do all the exercises possible for some reason, because you just think that because you do all these sorts of variations this will be better to build muscle, but in reality this is not really the truth. And here is the second workout session that I want to illustrate. So barbell bench press, barbell decline bench press, and dumbbell incline chest flies. And so in these two workouts, we're still covering all parts of the chest area, and we're actually focusing in the second part, in the second routine, on doing less. But it doesn't mean we're doing less in terms of volume and repetitions and sets. We're just doing less in terms of exercises, and there is no point doing all these exercises on the first workout program, because they're all actually targeting kind of the same. So you're just kind of wasting time shifting your attention because you're changing the exercise, you're taking rest in between your exercise. You're basically wasting time doing this, and you can actually focus on doing less and doing more on less. Basically you're just choosing 3 exercises that will target very well all the areas, and instead you really focus on doing more on the things. So this is very important because, as you can see in the first program, for example, you're going to do 6 exercises, and imagine you doing 3 sets for each of these 6 exercises. And instead what you want to do is go to the second program and do 3 exercises and do 6 sets for each. This way this is much more efficient. You're absolutely hammering the exercise. You're not shifting your attention, like I said. So this is much better. You're focusing on what works for you, and you're not wasting time. So now that was for the basics. If you're a complete beginner, follow this advice of specializing. And if you don't really know what to specialize in, just choose the best basic exercises. Try just to have the minimum possible for all different areas of the muscle, basically. But don't try to overthink. Really stick to the basics. After some point you will put on muscle, and you will become intermediate, and then you can also even specialize more as an intermediate. You will be able to learn about your body morphology, and that is very important. So by learning about your morphology, I'm saying, for example, now that you have packed on some muscle on your biceps, and you're decently lean to see how your biceps is, then you can say, well, I have a short or long biceps, so our incline curl is going to be better for my long biceps. If you have short biceps, if incline curls might be a bit dangerous because they overstretch, like they're really stretching the biceps. So should I incline my bench a bit differently? That could be the same, for example, if you've got massive shoulders and triceps. The flat bench press might just not be the best for you because your triceps and your shoulders are going to take absolutely over your chest, and then you might want to do decline bench press instead. So your shoulders are not participating as much, and your triceps as well. So this is what I mean by learning about your body morphology. You will be able to choose the best exercises for yourself, and you're specializing even more now. So as soon as you're intermediate and you've built some mass, try to understand how your body is made and how is your morphology, so you can choose the best exercises for yourself. And this will also prevent from injuries, because if you know what are the right ranges of motions for yourself, or the right exercises so you don't get injured, obviously this is going to be the best. Let me tell you why you're going to make exceptional gains, because if you're actually putting all your attention on these exercises that are very right for yourself, then you're going to become an expert as well of these exercises. So it's a bit like powerlifters who really focus on 3 exercises: the squat, the deadlift, and the bench press. They become super strong because they practice them a lot, and they only almost just do this. And so if you apply the same for bodybuilding on the exercises that are good for yourself, then you're gonna really make massive improvements, and you're gonna get much stronger faster on these exercises. And that's pretty much what we can say also about Larry Wheels. If you know Larry Wheels, he's just got the best morphology possible to be a power lifter, and you can see that it works very well for him. He's good for deadlift, he's good for squats, he's good for bench press, so he's hammering it. And eventually he's also he likes bodybuilding, so he'll do everything to build muscle. But that would be silly of him not to go into powerlifting and try to break all these records, because he's really got the morphology for it. So basically start doing less but better and enough, and this will work out for you. If you've come to stagnating recently, then I'm sure this advice that I've just given you will really help you, of course along with nutrition, etc. But I think this piece of advice will make a difference in your training. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed it, don't hesitate to share, like, or subscribe and comment as well, and I will see you next time.